Hello, thank you for joining me. I am Rachel, and welcome to the Commanding Life podcast. I believe that when you align with who you are, you flow to what you want most. And I'm about to get into an amazing conversation with a new guest this week, and her name is Ashlee. Let's see what Ashlee's needing to align with and flow to in this week's episode. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Ashlee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm doing good.
We're always doing better than we think. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And I think I try to lead with that more now instead of being like, oh, well, no, I'm good. I'm good.
There we
Yeah.
go. Speak it
Yeah.
into existence, how you want to be.
Yes.
I saw something where it says it's like when somebody asks you how you're doing, you should say, I'm doing the best I can in the moment, or I'm doing
Mm,
amazing in the moment, or because especially if you can't come up with, if there's resistance there with I'm good, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing the best I can. And that's
Yeah.
being honest with yourself. And sometimes the best is all that you can do in the moment. And the more you see that you're doing the best you can, the more you see you're trying. And no one says you got to be good all the time, right? Even, I
Right.
always tell people, even with me, I have down days, I have doubtful days. But you know what? It reminds me that I'm going to have a good day
Yeah.
sometimes. So
Yeah.
even if your answer, when you're feeling great, say, I am great today. And if you're not, say, I'm doing the best I can, because honestly, that's what you're doing. Be honest with yourself instead of like faking it and feeling like, well, I'm really not doing so great, and not avoid how you're truly feeling. So,
Yes.
what area, what topic, what do you want to talk about today?
Um, I'd probably say I think where I'm at in my journey is, or at least what I feel is where I the most work that I feel I'm putting more in is getting around my lack based mindset. And it's not even maybe
I
I'm
knew what you
doing
were
good.
gonna I know what you were gonna say, but you say it. I knew it. Literally, you started talking. I was like, okay, this is what I'm helping her with. And you said the exact word that popped into my head. But my apologies. Continue
No,
what you're saying. And yes, I
no,
got
no, no. It's okay. I think I'm gonna try not to overthink and just say what it is that whatever is how it's supposed to come out, how it's flowing. Um, I want to say that it's basically like completely terrible. Like obviously, like I was telling you in our messages when I first reached out to you in regards to you doing this podcast. Me and my sister we realized um the issue. We're the generation that's going to come in and we're going to change that and we're going to give our kids something different. But I guess I still feel like I'm not seeing the shift. And at the same time, it's like it's taking time. It's going to take time. You've been in this mindset for so long.
you.
And um, I think maybe sometimes I could be as well missing small moments because I'm so much looking for a big moment. And I'm sorry if I feel like I'm like all over the place a little
You
bit.
are
Is this
doing
making
amazing.
sense?
Hmm.
Um, but that lack based mentality, that always worrying about the next, how I'm gonna make things. And it was so funny, even listening to your last podcast, you were talking about uh uh the word wasn't necessarily releasing, but it was
Acknowledging.
um basically like like letting go and letting God. Like like um surrendering. That's what you said.
Okay.
Surrendering.
Okay.
And I
Hmm.
think maybe that is what it is as well. Is I feel like I struggle maybe in the surrender area. Is that I wonder if I'm doing such work, is that not necessarily me surrendering? Like for example, like financially, I'm in a place where I work, I have a job, but I'm clearly being taken care of because the pay is definitely does not equate to the bills
Mm-hmm.
at all. It's way below, and somehow I'm still managing to get through. So I've been in this manifestation process of finding another job that's workable to me, that how I see fit, that's going to best fit with my family, and it's nothing. Nothing. Even when I felt like I was even going to settle and go for jobs that I knew necessarily I didn't want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, okay, in order just to get out of where I'm at, like I'll just do it. And even still getting the no there, it was like, okay, I don't know what we're doing. What we doing, Ashley? What do we have going on? Is there something within you that's still?
So I want you to first, before you go down the path of beating up on Ashley, is to give yourself grace
Oh,
for
yes,
having to unlearn what someone taught you about
yes.
abundance. So
Yes.
if you don't know how to make a way out of no way, what you're doing, I'm gonna point out to you, right? Like
Yeah.
where you're like, you're being hard on yourself for not knowing how to do something.
Yeah.
We were born knowing a lot of the tools to surrender, but someone else taught us. So we're gonna take control and we're gonna give ourselves grace, because I see you're giving me a little bit. I want you to see that even the little fact that you are trying to unlearn
Yeah.
is amazing. So I need you to give yourself grace for saying, I want to stop this. But
Yeah.
you just don't know how to, because that's what you were exposed to. I use the example of, if I had to explain what sand or snow look like to you and you never saw it, how would you know? I would say it's this white grainy thing, and you would not understand or comprehend something that you have not been exposed to. So give yourself grace for not knowing, but also acknowledge yourself for knowing that this isn't right and I need to make my life right. So the first thing I want to do is give yourself grace and see and acknowledge the fact that you want to do better. Give yourself some credit for that.
Okay.
One, give yourself grace. Two, acknowledge I am doing the best I can with what I know.
Yeah.
How are you gonna? I even use the example, and maybe this is like stereotyping women. I do have friends that can change their oil. I have female friends that can change your oil. How am I gonna change my oil if I don't know how to change my oil, right? So, but it starts with, you know what? I want to learn how to change my oil, so I'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So this isn't being sexist, but saying, how do we know how to do things we don't know? So first, you're acknowledging I want to change. And I'm going to ask you a question that a lot of people don't ask themselves. What do you think abundance is?
Oh. um. mm, yeah. I feel like I don't think I've ever been asked that question. Yeah.
So
Yeah. You.
how do you pursue something you don't know you're pursuing?
Good point.
Okay, so the definition of abundance, because a lot of people pursue quantity over
Yes.
quality. The definition of true abundance is having what you need when you need it.
Okay.
Think about
Wow.
that.
Okay. Okay.
Having what you need when you need it. You said something important before, because I listened. I don't know how I am creating what I'm creating from what I'm living. I'm working, but for some reason, I always have what I need.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, society has taught us that money in the bank is a representation of abundance. Abundance is having abundance of time, the mindset of abundance or the mindset of lack. When we are rushing to get to somewhere, we're actually living in a lack of time mindset. Understand what
Mm.
I'm saying? So
Yes,
when you
ma'am.
say to yourself, I need to slow down, and I trust that I have enough time to get where I'm going, right? You're
Yeah.
actually vibrating on the abundance of time
Mm.
frequency. And sometimes when we slow time down in our mind, you find that you get way more done. Like when you feel like you don't have enough time, you're rushing and nothing gets done. So,
Yeah.
if you all time abundance mindset is always having what I need. I always have the time to get what I'm supposed to get done. If it does not get done, it's not meant to get done in that time frame. Because even in that, there's a protection there. You're rushing to get something done because you're thinking that's what I need to do, right? But
Yeah.
then you go to bed because you were too tired to get it done. And the next day, an element comes in that makes it easier for you to get it done. So you always have an abundance of time. Okay, even with love, even with, you have to think, I have an abundance of love for my children. If
Mm-hmm.
you didn't love them, if you didn't realize that for somewhere when you were growing up, you didn't get enough love, and you're now trying to give your kids as much love that you can, in that moment, whatever you're giving them, that is love. It's an abundance of love. You're doing the best you can with your interpretation of love, right? So, abundance is always having what you
Yes,
need when
ma'am.
you need it. If you've survived 100% of the days and the struggles and the challenges, you have an abundance of capabilities. You have an abundance of problem solving skills. You have an abundance of creativity, right? So when people don't realize, once you realize, I have an abundance of time to make the abundance of money, right? That I'm looking to create,
Yeah.
you take the pressure off of yourself to have to be a success right now. So when you are putting that pressure on yourself to be a success right now, all you're doing is keeping yourself away from success because you're not seeing how capable you are. You're not putting it into, you know what? If I solved this at work, I am really good and I can solve more of that. And you build confidence within yourself to pursue a position that might give you more responsibility, which kind of also in turn brings in more money of a paycheck. But you're
Yeah.
so busy trying to get to that next position, you're not seeing the beauty of your capability, right? And the fact that, you know what? When you're aligned with who you are, you see, you know what? I make something out of nothing every single day.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself credit for that. But you're so, we get so caught up in what society says success is, that
Mm-hmm.
we're not seeing how capable we are. And the more you see how capable you are, the more capable you become. So in your life, you have to look at your where you are and say, you know what? I am not just exhibiting a lack mindset in money in the bank. I'm exhibiting a lack mindset in time with my children and not giving them quality time, because you're so busy pursuing what society says, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
abundance is, always having what you need when you need it. The other thing that contributes to lack is you take care of everyone else and you don't take care of yourself. And we've been taught that our worth, I've said this in probably a couple of episodes, our worth comes in the work we do, our worth comes in the effort we're making. Like, our worth is, that's not your worth. And if you don't see that those things I mentioned, you're capable, right? And you are creating, it's just what you're creating. You're focused on what society says you should create, but you should focus on what you want to create. And here comes my question. What do you want?
Oh, I always feel like when somebody asks that, like I'm gonna sound like greedy or like I don't know why some like form of like guilt around that. But at the same time, I want freedom with my kids. I want um I want financial freedom. I think how that will possibly be the most. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. If I didn't just say that already.
Back in the day, they used to say being wealthy is evil. I think now with social media, having more comes with you should be doing more,
Doing
right?
more. Hmm.
Or like, and because you're not doing more for me, I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna praise and adore you. Or having more means that you need to be more socially responsible. Like, it's so loaded. So that's what I mean by everybody wants to be rich, but there's this collective hatred towards wealth, and people don't
Behind it.
understand that it's it's not the wealth that should be hated. And I don't know if I'm going to keep this in a podcast, but I want you to look at it from this perspective. Everyone looks at Jeff Bezos or the uber wealthy as
Hmm.
irresponsible and they owe more to others. But I look at it as Jeff Bezos single-handedly has fed more people through Amazon than people realize. The workers, the people that are creating the products, there nothing that is created on that level is perfect. It's gonna have parts of it that's not perfect. But I think people need to realize we look at him and what he has attained, but not we don't look at how the lives he's changed, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think people need to not look at the quantity, but he has helped so many people's quality of lives change.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we need everyone in society. We need
Mhm.
everyone at all levels because someone has to create something like that, to create the millions and millions of lives that will benefit from it, right? So I need you to look at the the I want financial freedom is not a negative thing, because
Mhm.
in your ability to have financial freedom, you're circulating money. You are also you're like when they talk about circulating the dollars in different communities,
Yeah.
you are putting money back in. You are, whether you're ordering Uber Eats, someone's being hired, gas is being, what mechanics for the cars, like it is so unquantifiable the benefit people get. So I think people just need to look at, everybody looks at money in the bank. I don't care, me personally, if your all is a private jet. Do you understand what I'm saying? If
Hmm.
that's what you're wanting, that's what you're wanting. The benefit is not just this person being a, there's so many people that are employed beyond that. There's so many people making a living beyond whatever. So never apologize for what you want. I think it is a desire of people who've never had to always want to have the experience.
Yeah.
So, but then as we go through it, we realize it's not the quantity of money, it's the quality of life it
Of the life.
brings.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why are you gonna apologize for the quality of life you're desiring? So it's like you gotta ask yourself that question and get over the guilt part of it, because your all is not my all.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Because
Yeah.
my all
Mhm.
could be a little country house with a white picket fence, and your all could be like a mega mansion wherever. Everyone has their need, their desire, their place. And we as people need to see that every life is important. Because someone has more quantity does them make them better than someone who doesn't. So when
Right.
you're putting pressure on yourself because you haven't attained, you're falling into that trap. I am worthy based on the amount of money I have in the bank.
Yeah.
So
It's making
again,
sense.
Jeff Bezos, to me, he's just like all of us trying to figure it out. And he's probably like, why is my name in, but people really hate, because think about it. We
Yeah.
hate them for having, but we want to
We
have.
want it. Yep. Yep. But we want that. Yep.
And I think we
Yep.
need to change how we think about people who have. Because now my thought process, how did he think? What did he align with within himself to get what he has? He's just pursuing his path. So again, what do I want? What do you want is the question everyone needs to ask. And your response should be based on what you want, not what anyone else wants. So let's, now that we've moved past the guilt of wanting, you're worthy of anything you're wanting. It gets boring after a while, but you know what I mean? But I want, you should not be, you should not feel that way for wanting to experience that. We all
Yeah.
want to experience things we've never experienced. That's the beauty of life. That's what's pushing you to be better for your children, be better than the generation before. So I just want you to know it's okay.
Yeah. I
So
appreciate that.
don't say, well, when people think, so what if that's what you want now? 10 years from now, you've attained that. You could want something else.
Something else. Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be something else. Right. Right.
Poverty creates the biggest desire for prosperity.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
So,
definitely think just growing having it was is I guess it's kind of funny because it was like, I grew up in the church. My father's my dad's a pastor, and it's I feel like it wasn't even like I feel like it was still like still some that what is that saying of, oh, money is the root
root
of
of
all
all evil.
evil, like, and
Hmm.
all that. So, and I think, and that's kind of like where it came from, like one being scared because it was just like, seeing my parents just struggle, my mom till she passed away basically, and then my dad, like, uh,
Money is
he's
not the
thinking
root of all evil. Evil is
is
evil.
exactly.
So I get it. Like, evil is evil. Now you could have someone that's good with a lot of money doing good. And then it doesn't matter in today's society why you got to let people know you're doing good. You really have to do what you want to do. Like, I think, because it's like it does not matter. That's what you're unlearning, is that everyone else matters. That's what
Hmm.
you're unlearning in all aspects of your life. And if you don't do what I want you to do, I could withhold love from you. You understand what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
what people
yeah,
and
yeah,
what you don't realize is the you matter the most. You matter the most. And if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anything in your life, anyone else in your life. It's just that acknowledgement. And it's like, and people's like, oh, it's not selfish. I will repeat. Self first. It is not selfish. It is the most selfless thing that you can do. If you want love, you have to understand love within yourself. If you want abundance, you have to understand abundance within yourself. If you want peace, you gotta understand it within yourself. And if you don't, you cannot find it. Nothing happens outside of you. I think people don't understand that. I was actually having a conversation with my sister. Everything happens within us.
yeah. All within.
So, but we look at all of our education outside of us when we know what we want to feel good. You know, but we're taught that everything else matters except for us. That's where unworthiness comes from, because if we're not doing what everyone else says we're doing, we're not good enough. And that's not the truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you've had 4 marriages. People are going to be like, oh, because I have a client, she's been married 2 or 3 times. And some people are just here to love as many people as they want to. But society says, you're meant
Oh,
to
oh,
be, there you
with one
go.
person, one person only, and
And she'll
yeah,
figure it out as long as, and you know what? And it is a process, because in the past, she had to learn I'm in love with love.
yeah,
But I had to learn that I need to be in love with me to find true love. Because when we're blinded by being in love with love, if that makes sense, right? Then we ignore all the red flags.
we are about to say everything else is blind.
So I asked the question again, and I want you to confidently answer. What does Ashlee want?
Ashley wants financial freedom and freedom of time, or abundance, excuse me, abundance of time. I would love an abundance of time. I love how you put that and
So how can
set that up for
Ashley
me.
say in her life right now, what is abundant in your life right now? You gotta find
Time,
you
time,
gotta find it. Because if you
yeah,
don't find the abundance of something, you have an abundance of something you're taking for granted. And if you don't sit down and take inventory of your life and count your blessings, I call it counting your blessings every day. If you're not finding something that's working, you're going to focus on everything that's not working. Now, you could have amazing friends, a supportive system. You could have an abundance of good friends. You could have an abundance of a support system and support. You can have abundance of love. But all you're doing is, I have lack of financial freedom. You could have 10 things working in your life. And the one thing that's not working, you're going to look at that as that's not working. But what people need to understand is you got to find what's working.
yeah,
And if you find what's working, everything is going to come into place. You said earlier, I was talking to my sister. You have a sister who is there, who knows everything you've been through, who you could confide in, who has your back in all ways. 2 words, always. That is an abundance right there of love and support and protection. But we're so busy being distracted So when you say again, I want I want financial stability, you need to say it, you need to phrase it. I need Ashley wants to see the abundance in her life, the protection in her life, the freedom in your life. If you don't think you aren't financially free, you have what you need at all times. You have internet right now. Look, you have power right now, right?
Right.
Right now you have all of that. And it's
Yeah.
just literally just a matter of you seeing it. Now, people's like, how do you see abundance? How do you like, I'm struggling, right? I'm going to do air
Yeah.
quotes, right? I'm
Yes.
struggling.
Yes.
How do I feel abundant? It's because quantity of money is not abundance. You got to keep
Abundance.
telling yourself that.
Yeah.
Quantity of money is not abundance. There are people that have $100 million and it is not enough. And it's not because they're greedy. It's just how their lifestyle is based. They've
Yeah.
leveraged out a lot of stuff. 100 million isn't enough. And you be like, woo, that's more than enough. It really is how you see everything. You could
Yeah.
have $100 and somebody will like, oh my God, I would love to have $100 right now
Yeah.
because I have $1 and I need $100, right? So the quantity is not abundance. Quantity is not financial freedom. It really isn't. You could have all your bills paid and feel happy and free.
Yeah.
But then for a lot of us, right now, when I say abundance is having what you need right now, when you feel like you don't have, you're in the future. On Friday, I have a bill and I don't have, it's Monday, but you're thinking about a bill that's due Friday.
I- Yes. Yeah.
But right now, in this moment, you have what you need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned surrender. Think about it, right? How many times on Monday, you don't have 100% of the times is the answer. On Monday, you don't have what you need. And Friday comes and you're worrying Tuesday, Wednesday. And then your sister, I'll use that as an example, say, I just got, here's $50. You lent me that the last time. Here's the $50 you need for Friday.
Yeah.
The answer, 100% of the time, you always have what you need. We feel lack when we are remembering when we didn't have, living in the
Yes.
past, or
Yeah.
jumping into the
Into the
future, trying
future,
to
which is
figure out
I live
what
there.
you
What?
need.
You all on my toes right now. You all on my toes right now. I'm not, yeah, I really be having to bring myself back to be in the present and to just stay in the present because yeah, I'm always oof, how we gonna break this check up? How we gonna have but yeah, oh, wow.
And a
Yeah, yeah.
hundred percent of the time,
We
you
have
don't know how because you're trying to do God's work. You're trying to do the sourcing for source. Like I say,
yeah.
God does the sourcing, right? You're trying
Right,
to do
right, right,
you're
right.
trying to do things that has nothing to do with you. You're trying to make rainfall. You're trying to make the earth spin in its orbit. You're trying to do things that have nothing to do with you. Abundance is if we would work on being in the moment, and when you're in the moment and you're not going to your past and not jumping the memory of the struggle you've been through and you're not jumping into the future, you realize you see better the true abundance that you have. So people's like, what we worry about is not, it's us worrying. In every single moment, we always have what we need. Even if the lights are off, Like, I don't think people understand that. Even if the lights are off, it's gonna work. It worked out. It worked out.
Yeah.
And are we going to sit in the dark worrying about how it's going to work out, or are we going to enjoy the game you could play, or something like that, or the fact that nobody's calling you or bothering you because everybody's resting, right? So it's like finding a benefit in.
Okay.
It's like, you know what? It's a good thing my
Yes,
car didn't start today because I could stay home and I could relax. There's
exactly.
always something. I like to say, I like when God tap before he pushes me, if that makes sense. So if he say my car ain't starting, he's saying stay home. And it's
Yes,
sometimes protection.
yes, yes.
But we're all, oh my God, how I'm gonna fix that? And I want people to realize I've been there. I had a time when my car broke down on the road, and I had to tow it to the house, but I wasn't bothered. I was not thinking about how I'm gonna get it fixed because I would have had to tow it to the dealership, right? And
Hmm.
it was because I was ignoring something in the car. And I'm sitting there and I'm meditating, and I get a phone call from a client, and he's like, "Oh, I'll come and I will take care of it." It was my starter. I didn't have to do anything. He called me and I was like, "Well, I can't come see you today because, and he came out and he fixed the car. I didn't have to tow it. And that's the point I'm saying. It's because I live in the moment. It's like, so people is like, well, how could you say that if you haven't? My car broke down. I called a friend. She had free AAA. Like, I just looked at it as I'm not gonna stress about it, because really in my mind I was trying to solve it by like, well, I gotta get the tow guy to tow it to the dealership to make. It was just the starter, and if anybody knows anything, it's nothing. They just go out when they feel like going out.
Yeah,
But at the
exactly.
end of the day, guess what? I'm sitting there and God solved it for me.
Yeah,
I didn't have to go anywhere. He literally bought the battery, the starter, the everything. And guess what? It's a client, he and his wife. I've known them for like 10 years. I would have never known that's what he did. In my mind, he's a millionaire. He just likes to work on cars. So it's like I tell you, don't know.
yeah. I about to
You
say
just
you
have to
don't
like
know.
surrender. I wasn't in the future. Oh my God, how much is this gonna cost me? Do I need a new engine? Is it my transmission? No. I just needed to probably stay put that week
Yeah.
because it's all protection. I feel like we're always questioning why we aren't further. You are exactly
Mm.
where you're supposed to be. Because I always say, if you at this moment got that freedom, you won't know how to keep it.
Yeah, yeah.
So why rush to lose it?
That's it. Yeah,
Why rush?
yeah. That's a very valid point. That is a very valid point.
You
Very
have
valid point.
so many years to enjoy it. Enjoy it when you appreciate it,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I think that's where they talk about enjoy it where I can enjoy the creation of more of it,
Hmm.
right? It's like you're like, oh, I want this, but you're not, you want to create more, but you're not enjoying the creation
The
of more.
the the process of the creation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
I've been there. The best part of manifesting, people don't realize it's the synchronicities, right? When he came in that moment and fixed the car, that wasn't the pleasure. Like that was already done at that point. It was
Yeah.
just the fact that I could tell this story because the best part of it is sitting there meditating and getting a phone call out of the blue and someone offering to help.
To fix it. Yep.
That was
Yep.
way more fun than getting the car started.
Yeah.
That's what creation is. It's like it's relaxing and seeing how you're provided for and how the what we don't want is always having us create things we want and allowing God to bring it to us in ways we would have never expected.
Mm.
Because that's the stories. What was the part of this story that it wasn't that my car started? I didn't even say that, right? It's
Yeah.
sitting there and allowing God to do the sourcing and solving it
And
for me.
solving the problem. Yep. Yep.
That's the testimony. It isn't Ashlee won, I have $1 million. Like it's my car broke down. I drove into the gas station. I'm just giving like a random story. And I was like, it was the last 4 quarters I had. I just pulled it together and I put it down and I bought the lotto and I bought a ticket for $1 million. Everybody's like, yeah, the $1 million, but you once you have the $1 billion, you won't care. It's like you already have it. It's just a different
Yeah.
feeling, but the story will always be. I used to, when I was younger, I worked for the Georgia Lottery because I'm in Atlanta when I was an intern in the 90s. Yes, I'm telling my age. And what people really loved working, what made the news was the story of the person who won the money. People always want to hear the story
Just,
behind how you bought the ticket.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they want to hear the stories of how they lost the money, but that's just human nature sometimes. Right? Again,
Of
everybody
course, they
wants
definitely want to hear
to
that
be
part.
rich, but we thrive sometimes on the rich losing, right? Like I said, everybody wants to be rich, but they don't like the rich. So it's like, yeah, that's the two stories: how they got it and how they lost it. So yes, that is it. You get what I'm saying, but we
I
don't want
do.
that.
I
We
do.
want you to keep it. So it's the I want to keep creating. You know
I
what
do.
that is?
You what?
That's love.
Look, I already cried and on here enough now. Don't make me cry more.
That's
Oh
love.
goodness. Yes,
And
it is.
that's also them. I don't know their ages, but that's also them wanting to be around you,
Yeah.
wanting to be up in what you're doing, right? Like if you understand what I'm saying, it's like they're so into you that they're
Yeah.
into what you're into.
I'm into what I'm been doing.
So
Yeah.
that's abundance right there, baby.
Yeah.
When you
Yes.
lean into that, is you teaching them
Yeah.
love. And
Love.
that's an abundance of love. It's something else that you're seeing that's working in your life. You are giving them so much because you didn't get that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that's why I say give yourself grace. You know how you don't want to be loved. That's how you're loving them the way you're loving them.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They just want to know what mommy into.
Yes. Always.
It's fine.
I'm ready to apologize, but I know you're gonna tell me not to say
Oh
sorry.
yeah, stop saying sorry. Everything happens how it should. Her
Yes.
coming in is showing that at the end of the day, you are so loved. You have an abundance of love that your children wants to be around you. And people take it for granted. Just the fact that she wants to be around, you're taking that love for granted. So we're gonna start wrapping it up to say that at the end of the day, and I say this in an aggressive way, right? Stop looking at what you don't have and
Yeah.
spend a little bit more time looking at what you do have. And what you don't realize is when you're saying, I want freedom of time and more, right? You're
Yeah.
actually activating not having because
Mhm.
that's what you're focused on. If you say, I always have what I need Everything is always working out for me, for me, for me, for me, for me. You find the lesson faster in what it is you're saying here. You know, you grew up in it, what you saying to me here, God. So I want you to, everything is for you. And what it's doing is it's helping you unlearn what you've learned.
Yeah.
You're not in a rush. You have an abundance of time. You have an abundance of support. Think about it. That when I had the in those moments, I could have vibrated on, I have no one here to help me.
Yeah.
And I got to figure this all by myself. But I had to, in that moment, God, what are you saying here? And he is sick, and he always answers. He always answers. And he said, you have an abundance of support because I believe in abundance of support.
Hmm.
So if you don't see your sister being there as an abundance of support, instead of saying, why I gotta be doing this by myself,
Yeah.
understand? You're
Yes.
activating the wrong, that you're still extending that lack mindset. I
That
always
might,
have
yes.
what I need. So when
Yes.
you're like, what does Ashley want? I want financial freedom. I want more
Yeah.
financial freedom. I
Yes.
want more love. You're saying I have it, but I want more of it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It makes sense. I get what you're saying. Yes.
So, and it's a journey, it's a process. It's gonna take some time, but eventually you're gonna increase the momentum to more, because that's what it is saying. I have what I need, and I would
Yes.
like. So it's kind of like, okay, here's a great exercise. Do you consider yourself an auditory person, a visual person? How do you think, are you someone that needs to say affirmations? How do you think you manifest? Because everybody manifests differently.
I affirmations and writing, really journaling.
Are you, when I say you're a visual person, like, does what you see matter? What you hear? How do you learn? Maybe I should say that. How do you learn?
Yeah, through listening, probably. Yeah, more or less, more listening. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, let me help other people that may not be understanding. I'm a visual person, so I don't have to do things to learn from it. I could see other people make mistakes and learn from their mistakes, right? Like there's
yes.
some people that need to actually go through the process, make a mistake, because there are people that need to, like, that's how they learn.
Okay,
Or
okay.
oh, yeah, okay.
I
How
see
do
what you're
you
saying.
think you
If
learn?
okay, in that sense, no. Visual. Yeah. Once I see, that's not okay. I'm gonna try to go about it and do about it this way. Yes. Yeah.
So the reason why I say that, so if you're a visual person, you can, you need to possibly put stickers, sayings, phone screen with like an affirmation or something that will help you recognize what you're working on in the moment.
Yeah.
Or here's another, there's a game, I'm sure you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, when she says, write a check to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that one? So
Yeah.
because you're visual, for people that are hearing people, they need to record on their phone the affirmations and play it to themselves, right?
Okay.
Like whatever they're
Yeah.
wanting. But for a visual person or someone who likes to touch things, or you have to write, you have to print and write down a check and go online and spend it. Screenshot what you bought, put it someplace to remind yourself. Like if you're trying, because actually go online, load up your cart, like, you know what I mean? Screenshot
Mm-hmm.
everything that you're buying and save it and look at it and say, oh, last week I bought this. Because when you're playing, the universe does not know if you actually checked out or you didn't check out. But when we
Mm.
have to sit and be in a place where, oh, I have abundance. If you're making it a game
for you to go shop and do it online, like you get it and remind yourself in your mind you bought whatever you bought, right? If and
Yeah.
you go and remind yourself you bought it, even if it's just a photo of it because you're a visual. If you're a person that likes hearing, like say to yourself, Ashlee, I just love that I just bought this, I just bought that, and play it. Or even do a story where your voice saying, I went into this high-end store and I bought this and I really like that, to bring yourself through hearing back to the moment. So if you're a visual person, go online shopping or go to the actual store and try to get into the frame of mind of purchasing whatever you're trying to purchase. Like, how is that going to feel when you swipe your card to get what you're wanting, right?
Mhm.
Or people is like, oh, you seen the memes where I'm on Zillow trying to buy $1 million house with like $50 in the bank. Actually,
Yes.
go and look, and for visual people, imagine it, but you don't have to we don't have to figure out how we're gonna get there. You don't have to figure out how you're gonna be at that high-end store swiping your card. You don't. It's just the belief, and then laugh about it. Like, I remember years ago when I played the game, I was in Saks buying $1,000 candles because I like candles, and I joke about it because I'm like, in the moment when you don't have the money to buy $1,000 candle, you're gonna think
Yeah.
it's so far fetched. But that's how I want you to shop. I want you to shop and buy things that in your mind is beyond unnecessary.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
not about that. It's getting away from the mindset of having to pay your bills. It's getting away the mindset of not having enough. Now you need to get in the mindset of being purchasing $1,000 candle is so, but to some people, oh, only I've bought a candle for $1,500. It's like we need to have fun with
Yeah.
creating. I don't
Yeah.
want you to just be like, I need a better house. No, I want you to buy ridiculous things. You know what I mean? That to just get you in the mood of just, you know what? I welcome. Money is joy. It is not struggle. Money is joy. And that's why I say, like, buy something that's, you know, to the average person, $1,000 candle. But at the end of the day, it's fun to think that I could be at one place in my life laughing when I purchase $1,000 candle.
Yep.
And
Yep.
because you've been responsible your whole life, you probably like, oh my God, I don't know if you understand it, but
Yeah.
it just gets you in a place. Have fun. Money, if you have fun with money, money will have fun with you. Money is like a relationship. So you have to love it for it to love you back. You have to have fun with it for it to have fun with you. It's like,
Mhm.
equate money as a guy you're dating. Are you gonna go into the date like, oh my God, you're gonna leave me? I'm not gonna have enough time with you? Why would even get into the relationship if
Mm-mm. We
that's
ain't
what you're
doing that.
thinking? So that's your relationship with money. You have to change it by realizing instead of surviving, I wanna have more fun with it.
Yeah.
And then little things, start having more fun. Because if today you want to go get yogurt with the kids or whatever you want to do, forget about Friday.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out. Have fun with it. Have fun with your life. We're here to have fun. And people don't understand what I mean by that. I've had so much drama, I have so much to get over. It's a memory in this moment. In this moment, we're here. We are here for a finite amount of time. Are you going to spend it reliving the memory in your head? Or are you going to create new memories with those babies?
Mhm. Make those new
Because
memories.
guess what? We always 100% have what we need. we travel back, we jump forward. In this moment, there's so much love. You see, is she still in the room?
No, she let that go.
See, when you let go of, she's gonna come in any moment now.
Yeah.
You see what, yeah, see what surrendering feels like? I'm not even
Feels
thinking about it. I'm
good.
so focused on what you're saying. I'm in the moment. I'm feeling the fun with money. And she didn't even show up.
Yeah.
And there you were also worried about, oh, how is she going to react when my baby comes in?
'Cause I was.
Memory.
I was.
Someone said your kids are always, you get where I'm coming from?
Yes, yes, yes.
Someone said your kids are. So you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah. It's gonna be gotta handle it on my kids and da da da. Yep, yeah, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fine. It was just, it's also a lesson in realizing that when I let go, that same surrender I was talking about, it's gonna be fine. And even if I was upset with your baby coming in, it had nothing to do with your baby. It had everything to do with me.
Yeah.
You understand that? If I
Yes,
was
ma'am.
your set, your baby was coming in. It had nothing to do with your baby. It was me. It's me judging you. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's me
Yes.
judging you. Why couldn't she put her baby? That's me.
Yeah.
Your baby coming in has nothing to do with you. So that's what I mean by sometimes we're so focused on how others are perceiving us, we're not seeing that we create our world. It was me that will be judging you. And I didn't judge you in this. I feel like it's a lesson. I feel like everything happens how it should. And people don't realize that, right? She's meant to come in because it's also for you to see that there are people out there that won't judge you.
Yes. 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 Ooh, we can get into that. That's another thing. Look, now I need to book another call.
So I'm gonna wrap up this
So,
session right
yes.
here. As
Yeah.
always, thank you for being here. Thank you for
Thank
co-creating
you.
with me. As always, many blessings to you.